Menachet Daf Sadi here, Amud Aleph, 9 lines from the bottom. Amar Abaye Abaye says, Shema Mina Yesh Siluk Masa'ot Balayla. We see from the Beraita regarding the what we just mentioned prior with the Mishkan and the bread. So you're allowed to remove and disassemble the Mishkan at nighttime. The Isa Tatach Ein Siluk Masa'ot Balayla, because he said you can't do that. Emak Medali, when are the curtains that are cover the Hatzer carried away? Let's offer in the morning. My area Mishnah says, so then why would that be the case that it's considered like the breads had left while you're traveling? Typically, the if silabina just say that it became pasul because it was left overnight. Since we have to save only leaving and not overnight, it must be they were doing it at nighttime. Gemara says Pshita, of course. But the pasuk says they traveled day and night. Of course, you know they traveled at night. Gemara says no. You would have thought that only applies they traveled day and night when they traveled. They started traveling during the day. Maybe you would have thought that if they did not start traveling today, they wouldn't start uprooting themselves at nighttime. They would say yes. Once the curtains surrounding the Hatzah were rolled up, the people can enter. Seemingly, they're allowed to go. They were allowed to go in before they had to leave. The Gemara says, "How to be like Isaiah?" This is according to Isaiah. This is loud. However, the other Brayta says it's according to Hamim, so they're not allowed. Anya Brayta says. The Be'ezer Rebbe says, "Yachol ta'hakuz avim Mitzrayim." You would have thought if the Zavim Mitzrayim pushed their way back in, v'nechesu la'azra Pesach haba b'zumah. They would, if they brought, for they bring their korban Pesach while they're tameh. Yachol yochayim. Maybe you think they have karet like the Bet Hamikdash. Tomorrow the Pesach says, "Ve'yishalechu mina ma'aneh kol tzara v'chol zav v'chol tameh la'nefesh v'sh'ar shetemum metim mishalchin tamim Mitzrayim mishalchin and tamim metim mishalchin and Zavim Mitzrayim mishalchin." Only time you send out the Zav and Mitzorah people who have Zav or Tzarat is when people who have Mita are sent out. But over here, since they're not sent out, they're not sent out as well. That's why that bread allows it. Nu Mishnah. Ahat shtei alechem v'ahat lechem panim. The shtei alechem panim breads, the shtem alechem v'achutz, they're kneaded and shaped outside. They could be done outside the Hatzer, but if but it has to be baked inside. They don't the whole Shabbat. It does not override Shabbat. You can't bake it on Shabbat. Rabbi says, "L'kol ma'asim b'tanim." Anything can be done. Everything has to be done inside. Rabbi Shimon says, "La'olam haveregilu ma'ibray." Should say or get used to saying "Shtei alechem lechem panim." Both breads, kisher ba'azra the kasher and azra, uksher b'bet pagi, and also kasher in bet pagi, which is outside, which is Yerushalayim, entire Yerushalayim. Hagu v'kasher. I have a problem. Amarti, you said that you can knead and shape it outside. Therefore, we see that the dry measurements don't make solids kadosh. Man, you could bake it inside. Then we see that solids, like solid vessels, like the oven, does make it kadosh. So what is it? The Gemara says, this question was found to be hard to answer by a person whose heart is iron. Who's that? He's complimenting him. My kusha, what's the problem? Maybe the Isaron vessel to measure does not make it kadosh. That's why it can be outside. The normal kadosh, what the oven does. No, you want a question? This is the question. I've come to you can bake it inside. Alma Tanur Magash, you see the oven makes the Kadosh, then the Halat Shabbat, but then it's not override Shabbat. If Pasad Dina, that's the case, then if the oven makes the Kadosh on Friday before Shabbat, because you have to, then Shabbat day it should be Pasul because it's leaving overnight. Where it says, Marava, who's according to? Hard question, hard, like a man who's hard. Who's that? Who's genius for Shabbat? Rashi says, "You want to answer this question? I'll answer my kusha. Dima by the inside baking. B'makom zrizin, baked by the inside, meaning baked by the kohanim, not into the hatzah." The Gemara says, "Rav v'had Rav Ashi brute." That's the case. The Rashi's answer is not so good. Manashach, because why? If the baking needs to be done by the kohanim, lishav achitan, it should also be done by the kohanim. Lishav achitan leben zrizin. If the kneading and shaping not to be done by the kohanim, I feel I'm leben zrizin. You don't need to do that either. No difference to differentiate. Rav Ashi Baruto, obviously Rav Ashi made a mistake. Rabbi already said, Kol Ma'asim Bifnim, all procedures of the bread should be done inside the Hatzer. Rabbi Shimon said, no, preparations Shelechem can even in Hatzer, even in Yerushalayim. Mar Bevar Bar Kana, Ushneim Yikra Echad Ershud, both opinions learned from the same pasuk. Pasuk says, V'hu derech hol va'af ki hayom yikdash bekli. The bread, by David is telling the Kohanim of Nov regarding the Lachem Panim. The bread is non-kadosh and it'll be kadosh through the vessel. Rabbi says that if David found the Kohanim baking the bread on a weekday, he told them, why are you baking it on a weekday? Be kadosh through the oven. Therefore, should be baking on Shabbat. That's according to Rita. The Rishon wants to publish better Shekhinah the Ga'afule. Rishon says, no, he found baking on Shabbat. I'm not he told them, Lo derechol b'aytul mevdeh. Don't bake it on this. Shouldn't you be doing this on weekday? Immediately tell him Mikdash because the oven makes it kadosh. Shulchan Ahud Mikdash. The oven is not Mikdash. The Shulchan makes it kadosh. Therefore, you could bake it on Friday. Same pasuk, different opinions. When you said that the Shad the other Shekhinah can be possible to say that he saw them baking it. Maktib says, "Veitin lo Kohen ki kadosh ki lo ya Hashem lechem ki im lechem hapanim masurim lefnei Hashem." The Kohen gave him holy bread because no other bread except for the lechem hapanim. So we see that he arrived to eat it from the shulchan, old bread, not new bread bread. My dad hold the comments. We mean the all non-holy way that he said to them. Hachi Kamal says as follows: "Like lechem ki im lechem hapanim hamusarim lefnei Hashem." There's no other bread available except for the panim bread that was given from Hashem, from the shulchan. Amar Lui, he said to them, "Let me buy the high. I don't even need to tell you that it's mutar for me. To came in the nafak because once left the meila uh, requirements, yani no longer considered part of the Mikdash, I am it's not kadosh anymore. I feel actually even the other bread, the Yom Kadosh Tikli, even the new stuff, which is kadosh right now, I could still eat it, misukanu, because he's in extreme hunger and therefore his life is running. Rabbi David Rishon, the Big Mapli, they have a machloket over the tradition. Rabbi David says that his teacher told him that the oven makes the kadosh, and Shimon says it not. Tekanami, and I also could prove you from the Mishnah. The Mishnah says that Rishon says "La'avam have an agilomar." Person should used to be saying. What does that mean? Shalach men tapanim kishur ba'azra. Shalach men tapanim bara kishur azra. Kishur bedagi and also bet pagi. So what does that mean? Person should get used to saying is he's showing that this is what I got from my tradition from my teachers. I mean, that's a good proof that it's this machloket between the two of them is based off of tradition from their rabbis. Mustafi,